Imagine discovering a subcontinent where marble monuments gleam like frozen poetry beneath monsoon skies, where ancient temples carved from living rock whisper prayers that have echoed for millennia, and where snow-capped Himalayan peaks guard emerald valleys, where time itself seems suspended in eternal beauty. India unfolds across diverse landscapes like a living tapestry woven from saffron sunsets, sacred rivers, and the dreams of countless civilizations. A land where Mughal emperors built love letters in marble, where Buddhist monks carved enlightenment into mountain caves, and where every street corner holds the fragrance of spices that once launched 1,000 ships. This is the cradle of yoga and meditation, where tigers prowl through royal hunting grounds, where houseboats drift through backwater canals lined with coconut palms, and where the concept of Atithi Devo Bhava, guest is God, transforms every encounter into sacred hospitality. Welcome to Wild Discoveries with Sarand, your gateway to the world's most incredible hidden gems and breathtaking destinations. Subscribe now and hit that notification bell for epic adventures that will ignite your wanderlust. India harbors secrets that astound even the most seasoned explorers. This ancient civilization spans 3.3 million square kilometers, yet contains 28 states speaking over 1,600 languages, making it more linguistically diverse than all of Europe combined. The subcontinent invented chess, Ziro, and yoga, while producing 70% of the world's spices from the same soil that grows tea gardens stretching across Himalayan slopes. India hosts 4 major world religions born on its sacred ground: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, while the Kumbh Mela becomes the world's largest peaceful gathering with 200 million pilgrims. The country contains 40 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, from 2,000-year-old Buddhist caves to Mughal architectural masterpieces, while the Ganges River system supports 400 million people. Through sacred waters flowing from glacial heights to Bay of Bengal deltas. India sprawls from the towering Himalayas, home to the world's highest peaks, down through the fertile Indo-Gangetic plains to tropical coasts kissed by 3 different seas. The Western Ghats create a biodiversity hotspot running parallel to the west coast, harboring endemic species in misty hill stations and spice plantations. While the Eastern Ghats guard mineral-rich landscapes dotted with ancient temples carved from granite hills. The Thar Desert paints Rajasthan in golden dunes, where camel caravans once carried precious goods along Silk Road routes. While the Deccan Plateau spreads across peninsular India in volcanic soils that support everything from cotton fields to diamond mines. Seven major river systems create fertile deltas supporting dense populations, while monsoon rains transform landscapes from dust to emerald paradise. India's cultural identity weaves together 5,000 years of continuous civilization. From the sophisticated Indus Valley cities with advanced urban planning, to the Mauryan Empire that spread Buddhism across Asia, creating philosophical traditions that influenced human thought across continents. The golden age of the Guptas produced mathematical innovations, astronomical discoveries, and artistic achievements. While the arrival of Islam created the magnificent Mughal Empire, whose architectural legacy includes the Taj Mahal, Red Fort, and countless mosques that blend Persian elegance with Indian craftsmanship. British colonial rule connected India to global trade networks, while independence in 1947 launched the world's largest democracy. Preserving ancient traditions through classical dance forms like Bharatanatyam, musical ragas that capture every human emotion, and Ayurvedic medicine that treats body, mind, and spirit as integrated systems. The concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, reflects India's philosophical contribution to global consciousness. Agra crystallizes Mughal grandeur through the Taj Mahal, poetry written in marble, where Emperor Shah Jahan's love for Mumtaz Mahal created the world's most beautiful mausoleum. Its white dome changing colors from pink dawn to golden sunset to silver moonlight. The massive Jama Masjid demonstrates Islamic architectural mastery through red sandstone courtyards accommodating 25,000 worshippers. While nearby Fatehpur Sikri preserves an entire Mughal capital abandoned after just 14 years. Its palaces and mosques frozen in 16th century splendor. The Yamuna River reflects these monuments in waters once navigated by Mughal pleasure boats, carrying royal courts between architectural wonders that define romantic architecture. Leh-Ladakh unfolds across the highest plateau on Earth, where Buddhist monasteries perch on barren mountains, creating spiritual landscapes that seem touched by heaven itself. The ancient Silk Road trading post preserves Tibetan Buddhist culture through prayer flags, fluttering against impossible blue skies. While the Indus River carves green oases through lunar landscapes where wild horses roam free. Pangong Tso Lake stretches across the India-China border in impossible shades of blue, while Nubra Valley's sand dunes support double-humped Bactrian camels, remnants of Central Asian trade routes. The region's extreme altitude creates pristine conditions for stargazing, where the Milky Way appears so bright it casts shadows on Earth. Fun fact: Leh-Ladakh sits at 3,500 meters altitude, where the air contains 40% less oxygen than sea level. Jaipur radiates royal splendor through pink sandstone palaces and fortresses that earned it UNESCO World Heritage status as a planned city showcasing Rajputana architectural genius. The magnificent amber fort commands hilltop positions where elephant rides carry visitors through mirror-covered chambers reflecting candlelight into infinity. While Taj Mahal's honeycomb facade allowed royal ladies to observe street life unseen. The city palace complex preserves royal treasures, including the world's largest silver vessels. While nearby, Ajmer Sharif Dargah attracts millions of pilgrims to the Sufi saint's tomb, where Qawwali music creates spiritual ecstasy. Traditional bazaars sell handcrafted textiles, jewelry, and spices that made Jaipur wealthy trading centers. Fun fact: Jaipur was painted pink in 1876 to welcome Prince Albert, and the tradition continues today by law. Varanasi pulses along sacred Ganges Ghats as the world's oldest continuously inhabited city, where death and rebirth cycle through daily rituals that have continued for 3,000 years. Dawn boat rides reveal pilgrims bathing in holy waters believed to wash away sins, while cremation fires burn continuously at Manikarnika Ghat. Creating the ultimate spiritual experience where life and death merge in sacred flames. The narrow lanes hide ancient temples dedicated to Lord Shiva. While evening Ganga Aarti ceremonies transform the riverfront into divine theater where thousands of oil lamps float downstream carrying prayers. Traditional silk weaving, classical music, and Sanskrit learning continue in family traditions passed through countless generations in this eternal city. Fun fact: Varanasi is considered the spiritual capital of India, mentioned in ancient texts dating back 3,000 years. Udaipur floats across artificial lakes like a fairy tale city, where white marble palaces reflect in pristine waters, surrounded by Aravalli hills, creating the most romantic setting in India. The city palace complex showcases Rajputana architecture through courtyards, gardens, and balconies overlooking Lake Pichola. while the Lake Palace seems to float on water like a marble dream, accessible only by royal boats. Jagmandir Island Palace hosted Prince Khurram, later Emperor Shah Jahan, in exile, inspiring Taj Mahal designs, while traditional Havelis converted into heritage hotels preserve aristocratic lifestyles. The surrounding countryside reveals Rajasthani rural life through colorful villages where traditional crafts and camel farming continue ancient traditions, supporting vibrant local culture. Fun fact: Udaipur's Lake Palace appears to float on water and served as a James Bond filming location. Delhi layers 1,000 years of imperial history, where 7 historical cities create archaeological landscapes containing monuments from Delhi, Sultanate, Mughal Empire, and British Raj. The massive red fort showcases Mughal power through red sandstone walls enclosing marble palaces where Peacock Throne once held court. While Humayun's tomb pioneered Mughal garden tomb architecture that influenced the Taj Mahal. Jama Masjid's courtyard accommodates 25,000 worshippers beneath minarets, providing panoramic city views. While the ancient Qutub Minar represents Indo-Islamic architecture's earliest masterpiece. Modern Delhi balances historical preservation with contemporary governance as India's political capital. Where parliament sessions decide policies affecting 1.4 billion citizens. Fun fact: Delhi contains 7 historical cities built by different rulers, with monuments spanning 1,000 years. Amritsar radiates spiritual energy through the Golden Temple's Golden Dome, reflecting in the sacred pool where Sikh pilgrims gather from worldwide to experience divine darshan and community langar, feeding thousands daily, regardless of religion or social status. The temple's architecture blends Islamic and Hindu elements, while the holy book Guru Granth Sahib receives continuous recitation, creating musical prayers that echo across marble courtyards. The nearby Partition Museum preserves heartbreaking stories of 1947's mass migration, when religious divisions created the world's largest human displacement. Wagah border ceremony showcases Indo-Pakistani military pageantry and daily flag-lowering rituals that attract thousands witnessing this unique diplomatic theater. Fun fact: the Golden Temple's langar serves free meals to 100,000 people daily, regardless of religion or status. Goa unfolds along the Arabian Sea coast, where Portuguese colonial heritage creates unique Indo-European culture through Baroque churches, spice plantations, and beach towns that preserve 450 years of cultural fusion. The beautiful beaches stretch from party destinations like Baga and Kalangute to serene hideaways like Palolem and Agonda, where coconut palms frame perfect sunsets. Historic forts like Aguada and Chapora command coastal positions, while Sea Cathedral and Basilica of Bom Jesus showcase Portuguese religious architecture, housing St. Francis Xavier's preserved remains. The Safa Masjid represents Islamic heritage, while traditional markets sell cashews, Feni liquor, and handicrafts that reflect Goa's multicultural identity through cuisine blending Indian spices with Portuguese techniques. Fun fact: Goa was a Portuguese colony for 451 years, creating unique Indo-European architecture and cuisine. Kerala cascades from Western Ghats Mountains to Arabian Sea beaches through backwater networks where traditional houseboats drift between coconut palms, spice plantations, and rice paddies, creating South India's most serene experiences. The ancient Biyemapalli Mosque attracts pilgrims to beautiful Indo-Saracenic architecture, while hill stations like Munnar preserve British colonial tea culture among misty mountains where elephants roam wild. Ayurvedic treatments using traditional herbal medicines provide holistic healing in spa resorts overlooking tropical landscapes. While Kathakali dance performances tell ancient stories through elaborate costumes and facial expressions. The backwaters connect inland villages where coir weaving, fishing, and spice cultivation continue sustainable traditions supporting local communities. Fun fact: Kerala has 100% literacy rate and backwaters stretching 900 kilometers through coconut palm canals. Mumbai pulses as India's financial and entertainment capital, where Bollywood dreams merge with colonial architecture and modern skyscrapers along the Arabian Sea coast. The iconic Gateway of India commemorates British royal visits, while serving as departure point for Elephanta Caves, containing ancient rock-cut temples dedicated to Lord Shiva. Haji Ali Dargah sits on a rocky outcrop accessible during low tide, where devotees walk across the causeway to reach the beautiful Indo-Islamic shrine. The bustling Crawford Market showcases Mumbai's commercial energy, while Marine Drive curves along the coast, creating the Queen's Necklace of streetlights. Traditional dobies continue washing clothes in open-air laundries, while street food vendors serve authentic Mumbai specialties throughout the energetic metropolis. Fun fact: Mumbai contributes 6% of India's GDP and produces 60% of Indian cinema through Bollywood. Spiti Valley stretches across Himachal Pradesh's trans-Himalayan region, where Tibetan Buddhist culture thrives in landscapes so barren they resemble Mars, yet harbor ancient monasteries containing priceless manuscripts and artwork. Key Monastery perches on hilltops like a fortress protecting spiritual treasures through centuries of political upheaval, while the valley's extreme altitude creates desert conditions despite Himalayan location. Traditional villages maintain medieval lifestyles, where barley cultivation and yak herding support communities cut off from outside world during winter months. The ancient Tabo Monastery, called Ajanta of the Himalayas, preserves 1,000-year-old wall paintings, while modern astronomical observatories take advantage of clear skies and minimal light pollution for space research. Fun fact: Spiti Valley sits at 4,000 meters altitude and remains cut off from the world for 6 months annually. Hampi sprawls across boulder-strewn landscapes as the ruins of Vijayanagara Empire, once India's richest kingdom, where Portuguese traders marveled at markets selling precious stones, silk, and spices from across Asia. The magnificent Virupaksha temple continues active worship after 500 years, while nearby Islamic monuments reflect the multicultural empire that welcomed traders and scholars regardless of religion. The ancient boulder formations create natural climbing walls, while the Tungabhadra River flows between ruins, where coracle boat rides reveal architectural wonders from water perspectives. The Vitala Temple's stone chariot represents Indian sculptural mastery, while musical pillars produce different notes when struck, demonstrating the empire's artistic sophistication that attracted travelers from Europe and Central Asia. Fun fact: Hampi was the world's second largest medieval city, with markets selling diamonds and precious stones. Sundarbans creates the world's largest mangrove forest, where the Ganges Delta meets the Bay of Bengal in intricate waterways supporting Royal Bengal tigers that swim between islands, hunting spotted deer and fishing in saltwater channels. This UNESCO World Heritage ecosystem protects coastal regions from cyclones while harboring incredible biodiversity, including saltwater crocodiles, dolphins, and hundreds of bird species. Traditional boat safaris navigate narrow creeks where tigers appear unexpectedly on muddy banks, while local communities practice sustainable fishing and honey collection in harmony with dangerous wildlife. The forest's unique adaptation to salt water creates mystical landscapes where trees grow from water, while tidal forces constantly reshape islands in this deltic wilderness. Fun fact: Sundarbans Royal Bengal tigers are unique swimmers that hunt fish and drink salt water. Ranthambore transforms ancient royal hunting grounds into India's premier tiger sanctuary, where majestic predators roam through ruins of 10th century Ranthambore Fort, creating dramatic wildlife photography opportunities. The park's dry deciduous forests and grasslands support healthy tiger populations that have recovered from near extinction through conservation efforts, while ancient temples and hunting lodges provide historical context to wildlife encounters. Safari drives reveal tigers, leopards, sloth bears, and hundreds of bird species, while the dramatic fort provides panoramic views over landscapes where Rajput rulers once hunted with cheetahs. Local communities benefit from ecotourism that transform them from wildlife poachers into conservation partners, protecting tigers for future generations through sustainable livelihood programs. Fun fact: Ranthambore has India's most photographed tigers, including the famous tigress Majuli, who lived 19 years. Darjeeling cascades down Himalayan slopes, where British colonial tea culture created hill station elegance amid stunning views of Kanchenjunga, the world's third highest peak, while traditional toy trains climb through cloud forests on UNESCO-protected narrow-gauge railways. The famous tea gardens produce muscatel-flavored leaves that command premium prices worldwide while preserving traditional plucking and processing methods in estates dating to the 1850s. Tibetan Buddhist monasteries like Goom House, ancient manuscripts, while morning sunrise views from Tiger Hill reveal the Himalayas painted in gold and pink hues. The Mall Road preserves colonial architecture, where bookshops, bakeries, and woolen goods continue British traditions adapted to local mountain culture, supporting diverse communities. Fun fact: Darjeeling's toy train, running since 1881, is a UNESCO World Heritage Railway climbing 2,000 meters. Kochi blends maritime history where Chinese fishing nets silhouette against sunset skies, while Portuguese, Dutch, and British colonial architecture tells stories of spice trade that connected Kerala to global commerce for centuries. The historic Fort Kochi preserves European quarters, where Vasco da Gama was buried before his remains returned to Portugal. while nearby Madancherry showcases Jewish heritage through India's oldest synagogue, decorated with hand-painted Chinese tiles. The ancient Sharaman Mosque represents India's first Islamic place of worship, built in 629 CE. While traditional spice markets fill the air with cardamom, pepper, and cinnamon aromas. Modern Kochi balances heritage preservation with contemporary art galleries and cultural festivals celebrating Kerala's cosmopolitan character. Fun fact: Kochi's Chinese fishing nets were introduced by Chinese traders and are found nowhere else in India. Jodhpur spreads beneath the mighty Mehrangarh Fort in indigo-painted houses that create stunning blue cityscape visible from the massive ramparts towering 125 meters above the Thar Desert Plains. The fort contains palaces with intricate carvings, mirror work, and courtyards that showcase Rajputana architectural mastery, while preserving royal collections including palanquins, weapons, and miniature paintings. The blue houses originally indicated Brahmin residences, but the tradition spread throughout the old city, creating photogenic lanes perfect for cultural exploration. Traditional markets sell textiles, handicrafts, and spices, while heritage hotels converted from aristocratic havelis offer royal experiences. The nearby Ossian temples demonstrate early Rajasthani temple architecture, while desert safaris reveal rural life continuing ancient camel herding traditions. Fun fact: Jodhpur's houses are painted blue, originally to indicate Brahmin residences, creating the Blue City nickname. Mysore radiates South Indian cultural sophistication through the magnificent palace complex, where the former Wadiyar dynasty created architectural fusion, combining Hindu, Islamic, and European elements beneath golden domes that illuminate spectacularly during Dussehra festival celebrations. Tipu Sultan's summer palace preserves the Tiger of Mysore's Indo-Saracenic architecture decorated with tiger motifs and Islamic calligraphy. While traditional silk weaving, sandalwood carving, and incense production continue royal patronage of arts and crafts. The famous Mysore Yoga School attracts international students to authentic Ashtanga practice, while nearby Srirangapatna Island Fortress reveals Tipu Sultan's resistance against British expansion. Traditional markets sell jasmine flowers, silk saris, and sandalwood products, while classical Carnatic music performances maintain South India's musical heritage. Fun fact: Mysore Palace is illuminated by 97,000 light bulbs during the 10-day Dussehra festival celebration. Madurai centers around the magnificent Meenakshi temple, whose towering gopurams covered in thousands of colorful sculptures create one of India's most spectacular religious complexes, where daily rituals have continued for over 2,000 years. The temple's architectural grandeur includes the Hall of Thousand Pillars, where each carved column tells stories from Hindu epics, while evening ceremonies unite pilgrims in devotional fervor. The historic Khajjiar Mosque represents Islamic heritage in this predominantly Hindu city, demonstrating religious tolerance that characterizes Tamil culture. Traditional textile markets continue Madurai's role as South India's commercial center, while street food vendors serve authentic Tamil cuisine. The nearby Thirumalai Nayak Palace showcases Indo-Saracenic architecture, while temple festivals transform the city into massive celebrations involving millions of participants. Fun fact, Madurai's Meenakshi temple has 14 towering gopurams covered with over 33,000 colorful sculptures. Rishikesh flows along sacred Ganges banks, where Himalayan foothills create spiritual atmosphere that attracts yoga practitioners, meditation seekers, and spiritual tourists from worldwide to ashrams and yoga schools teaching authentic ancient practices. The famous suspension bridges connect temple towns, while Ganga Aarti evening ceremonies create divine atmosphere where devotees float oil lamps downstream, carrying prayers. Adventure sports, including whitewater rafting, bungee jumping, and trekking, provide thrills amid spiritual settings, while traditional ashrams offer simple accommodation and vegetarian meals, supporting spiritual retreats. The nearby forests harbor elephants and leopards, while pilgrimage routes lead to higher Himalayan temples, including Badrinath and Kedarnath. International yoga festivals attract thousands of practitioners celebrating ancient wisdom in authentic mountain settings. Fun fact, Rishikesh is called Yoga Capital of the World, where the Beatles studied meditation in 1968. Rann of Kutch transforms into the world's largest salt desert, where seasonal flooding creates temporary lakes that evaporate, leaving crystalline white landscapes stretching to horizons beneath star-filled skies, perfect for astronomy and cultural festivals. The Great Rann covers 7,500 square kilometers of pure white salt that reflects moonlight, creating ethereal nighttime landscapes, while wildlife sanctuaries protect wild asses, flamingos, and migratory birds. Traditional communities, including Rabari pastoralists, maintain ancient lifestyles through camel herding and handicraft production, including embroidery, mirror work, and pottery, that showcase Gujarati artisanship. The annual Rann Utsav festival creates tent cities where visitors experience folk dances, camel rides, and traditional crafts while camping under pristine desert skies, away from light pollution. Fun fact: Rann of Kutch becomes a white salt desert covering 7,500 square kilometers during dry season. Shimla cascades down Himalayan ridges where British colonial architecture creates hill station elegance amid pine forests and rhododendron groves that bloom spectacularly during spring months. The famous Mall Road preserves Victorian-era buildings, including the Viceregal Lodge, where British India's administrative decisions shaped subcontinental history. While the toy train journey from Kalka climbs through mountain tunnels and bridges, offering stunning Himalayan views. Traditional markets sell woolen goods, handicrafts, and local apples, while colonial churches and libraries maintain European heritage, adapted to mountain environments. The nearby Kufri and Chile provide adventure sports and wildlife viewing. While summer festivals celebrate mountain culture through folk dances and local cuisine that blends Himachali traditions with colonial influences. Fun fact: Shimla was British India's summer capital, where the government relocated to escape plains heat. Manali nestles in the Spiti Valley, where snow-capped peaks create adventure sports paradise, offering skiing, paragliding, trekking, and river rafting amid apple orchards and pine forests that showcase Himachal Pradesh's natural beauty. The ancient Hidimba Temple, built around a living tree, demonstrates unique Himachali architecture, while nearby hot springs provide natural relaxation after mountain adventures. The famous Rohtang Pass opens seasonal access to Spiti and Ladakh regions while providing spectacular glacier views and snow activities year-round. Traditional villages maintain Himachali culture through wood carving, weaving, and apple cultivation, while modern resorts offer luxury mountain experiences. The Solang Valley provides adventure sports, while Old Manali preserves backpacker culture and authentic mountain hospitality that attracts international travelers seeking Himalayan experiences. Fun fact: Manali serves as gateway to Spiti and Ladakh, with Rohtang Pass providing year-round snow activities. Ajanta and Ellora caves represent the pinnacle of ancient Indian rock-cut architecture, where Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain monks carved temples, monasteries, and sculptures directly from basalt cliffs, creating UNESCO World Heritage masterpieces spanning 1,500 years of religious art. Ajanta's 30 caves preserve exquisite Buddhist paintings and sculptures dating to the 2nd century BCE, while Ellora's 34 caves showcase religious harmony through Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain monuments carved side by side. The massive Kailasa temple at Ellora represents the world's largest monolithic structure carved from single rock, while Ajanta's paintings influenced Asian art for centuries. These ancient university complexes provided education, meditation, and artistic creation, while monsoon-fed waterfalls create dramatic settings for exploring India's greatest archaeological treasures. Fun fact: Ellora's Kailasa temple is the world's largest monolithic structure carved from a single rock. Munnar spreads across Western Ghats hills in endless tea plantations where British colonial tea culture created scenic landscapes of manicured green terraces climbing mountain slopes beneath misty peaks that harbor endemic wildlife, including Nilgiri tahr and endangered flora. The tea museums preserve colonial-era processing equipment, while plantation tours reveal traditional tea picking and manufacturing that produces high-quality black tea exported worldwide. The nearby Araviklam National Park protects endangered species while offering trekking through shola forests and grasslands where Nilakarinji flowers bloom once every 12 years, painting mountains purple. Traditional spice gardens grow cardamom, pepper, and vanilla, while mountain streams create waterfalls perfect for swimming. The cool climate provides respite from tropical heat, while mountain resorts offer luxury accommodations. Fun fact: Munnar's Nilakarinji flowers bloom once every 12 years, turning entire mountains purple. Kanyakumari marks the southernmost tip of mainland India, where three seas, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, and Indian Ocean, converge, creating spectacular sunrise and sunset views from the same location, while pilgrims gather at the ancient Kumari Amman temple, dedicated to the Virgin Goddess. The Vivekananda Rock Memorial sits on rocky outcrops, where Swami Vivekananda meditated before his famous Chicago speech, while the massive Thiruvalluvar statue honors Tamil literature's greatest poet. The unique geography allows witnessing both sunrise and sunset over water, while colorful sand beaches showcase minerals from different geological formations. Traditional fishing communities continue ancient maritime traditions, while modern wind farms harness constant sea breezes for renewable energy generation, creating dramatic landscapes where tradition meets sustainability. Fun fact: Kanyakumari is the only place in India where you can see both sunrise and sunset over water. Gokarna balanced spiritual pilgrimage with pristine beaches, where the ancient Mahabaleshwar temple attracts Hindu devotees, while backpackers discover unspoiled coastline along the Arabian Sea, with beaches like Beach shaped like the sacred symbol. The temple town preserves traditional Brahmin culture through Sanskrit schools and religious ceremonies, while nearby beaches offer swimming, surfing, and yoga retreats in peaceful settings away from commercial tourism. Traditional village life continues through fishing, agriculture, and handicraft production, while beach cafes serve fresh seafood and international cuisine. The coastal trek connecting Gokarna's beaches provides stunning Arabian sea views, while nearby Western Ghats hills harbor wildlife and spice plantations. The town demonstrates how spiritual heritage and natural beauty can coexist sustainably. Fun fact, Gokarna's Om beach is naturally shaped like the sacred Hindu symbol Om, A-U-M. Mahabalipuram showcases ancient Tamil architectural mastery through UNESCO World Heritage rock-cut temples and sculptures carved directly from granite hills overlooking the Bay of Bengal, where Pallava dynasty artisans created 7th century masterpieces that influenced Southeast Asian temple architecture. The famous shore temple withstands ocean waves, while Arjuna's penance represents the world's largest bas-relief sculpture carved on natural rock face depicting Hindu epics. The 5 rathas demonstrate different Dravidian temple styles carved from single granite blocks, while ancient lighthouses guided merchant ships carrying South Indian goods to Southeast Asia. Traditional stone carving continues in family workshops, while beach resorts provide modern amenities. The annual dance festival celebrates classical Indian arts against dramatic coastal backdrops, where ancient and contemporary cultures merge. Fun fact, Mahabalipuram's shore temple is 1,300 years old and influenced temple architecture across Southeast Asia. India beckons with treasures that transform every traveler into passionate advocates for its endless wonders. From the Taj Mahal's marble poetry to the Himalaya's snow-capped majesty. From Kerala's backwater serenity to Rajasthan's desert grandeur. This incredible subcontinent offers journeys that satisfy every desire for spirituality, adventure, cultural discovery, and the warmth of Indian hospitality that treats every guest as divine. Thank you for joining Wild Discoveries with Sarand on this incredible Indian Odyssey. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more hidden gems and breathtaking destinations that will fuel your wanderlust. Until our next adventure, keep exploring and keep discovering. India's timeless wonders await your arrival.